What's up guys, today's Thursday and I figured, you know what, I'm going to do a turkey calling tip video. I know a lot of turkey seasons have already kicked off down south, and ours is getting ready to kick off here in a few weeks, and I'm getting excited for it. I'll tell you what, turkey season is one of my most favorite times of the year because as an outdoorsman you can get out and do a lot of stuff, mushroom hunting, fishing, a little shed antler hunting maybe. On today's video I'm going to talk about how to call to a gobbler on the roost. I see this question a lot on like Facebook, on turkey hunting forums and stuff, you know, guys asking, how do you call to a gobbler on the roost? When do you call to a gobbler on the roost? So I figured I'd make this video for those guys that may be looking on YouTube for answers to this question. So when it comes to calling to gobblers on the roost, it's all situational. If the gobbler's got a lot of hens, then I'll do something different there. If the gobbler doesn't have any hens, I'll do something different. And those are the two scenarios I'm going to talk about here. So number one is gobblers with hens. So when it comes to calling to gobblers with hens, I will typically shift my attention away from the gobblers and more towards the hens. If the hens are doing a lot of cutting and yelping up in the tree, I'll do a lot of cutting and yelping, because at that point I want to try to strike the dominance of that boss hen in that flock. And what should or typically will happen is she'll fly down, and sometimes she'll be the first one out of the tree. She'll fly down, she'll come in, check out your setup, and then the other turkeys will fly down and follow, and then in turn the gobblers will follow. Now this does not happen all the time. They may fly down, the hens may fly down, the gobblers may be strutting around with them, and then from there I'll still keep my calling up and just kind of sound real excited and try to draw those hens into you. So when you got hens with gobblers on the limb, definitely try to mimic what they're doing up in the tree. Maybe outdo them just a little bit, just to strike that dominance of the boss hen, to maybe so she'll fly down and pull the rest of the flock into you. Now the second scenario I'm going to talk about here is a lone gobbler. Now typically you'll find this later in the season. The hens are off tending to nests, and the gobblers are still in the breeding mood. So what happens typically is when you slip in an area where that gobbler's roosted and you let out a little slight peep of a call, they tend to gobble like crazy. And I'll tell you what, as a turkey hunter, I've made the mistake by over calling to a gobbler just because he's gobbling like crazy to me. And I'll put him in that tree a lot longer than what he needs to be, and I've even had him fly down and go the other way. When I do this, what I'll do is when I get set up, Now, if I'm set up close to him, I'll do a little tree yelping, and if he gobbles immediately, then I'll shut my calling down. And you're probably thinking, why in the heck would you do that? Well, it goes back to what I was saying. I don't want to put that gobbler in that tree longer than what he needs to be, because he may have called one time and he may have answered you one time. That does not mean he forgot about you, believe me. There's been plenty of times I've been calling in an area and I haven't heard nothing. I may have heard a gobble off in the distance, and I'll lose all confidence. I'll get up and leave. I'll get to my truck, drive down the road and look out where I was hunting at, or where I was set up at, and lo and behold, there'd be a gobbler out there strutting where I was calling. That's happened to me a few times. So anymore, over the years, I've become more patient and just sit there a little longer for maybe that possibility one will come slipping in, because it does happen quite often. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you got something out of it as always. If you guys haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit a thumbs up, and leave a comment below of some tips or tricks that you use to call in turkeys on the roost. So yeah, but just remember, lone gobbler on the limb, keep your calling soft and subtle. You got gobblers with hens, try to mimic what the hens are doing, and go from there. So I hope you enjoy as always, and good luck this spring, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.